It's May 4th. Happy Star Wars Day. Today we're talking about people having an awful time with Redfall, Xbox announcing their big summer showcase, along with what we need to see at the show, and the Gran Turismo trailer debut. All this and more on this week's episode of Checkpoint.
And we are live. Welcome back to Checkpoint, brought to you by Strictly Casual, your number one show bringing you the important news and breaking down the biggest stories in the gaming industry. I'm one of your hosts, Vincent DeSantis, and today joined, as always, by New York, James Walmer. Thank you, audio listeners, for listening. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/strictlycasual. Please hit us with a rating on audio platforms and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. We don't have any extra stuff going on the channel right now, because it's busy time right now. So you can expect a clip from Checkpoint, a clip from Freeze Frame, and those two podcasts on podcast platforms as per usual. James, it's not been a light week in gaming this week.
Not been a light week.
Not a light week at all. Some heavy stuff, some not so great stuff happening in the industry.
Not a good week for gaming.
No. I was actually kind of sad that I kind of centered this episode around like Xbox's major failure of
their downfall. No, not their downfall,
but just like a huge L.
It's not a good time for Xbox right now.
No, it's not at all a good time for Xbox, which sucks because I'm rooting for them very much.
Does suck.
But before we get into Xbox, a little trailer came out of PlayStation Studios this week, and it was the Gran Turismo trailer. This comes from Polygon. Gran Turismo is the next PlayStation Prestige franchise to get the cinematic treatment. What did Tuesday's trailer show us, James?
It expands on the film's story, showing us following a minute-long teaser that Sony showed during CES 2023 back in January. Gran Turismo, directed by Neil Blomkamp, who also did District 9, will be based on the story of real-life driver John Mardenborough, a British professional racing driver whose 12-year career has taken him to the 24 Hours of Le Mans and Japan's Super GT series. Mardenborough's career began in 2011 at the Gran Turismo Academy, a PlayStation 3 competition where he beat more than 90,000 entrants to win a seat with Nissan in the Dubai 24-hour. Despite no serious real-life motorsports experience, Mardenborough placed third in his class at the endurance event. So, Gran Turismo will tell a classic phenomena out of nowhere sports story, albeit one who discovers his amazing talent thanks to a video game. Archie Madekwe will star as Mardenborough, with Jerry Halliwell Horner, also known as Ginger Spice, and wife of Formula One Red Bull Racing Team principal Christian Horner as his mother, Leslie Mardenborough. Jimon Honso headlines the cast as Mardenborough's father, Steve, an English footballer who is of some renown during the 1980s and 1990s, and David Harbour and Orlando Bloom will also star.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo will premiere in theaters on August 11th.
Tell me what you thought about the trailer.
I thought a little corny.
Yep, absolutely.
But it looked fun. It looked like a good time.
It looks like a great time.
Yeah. Gives feel good, like kind of Disney movie energy. They're
not really making this in the period of like 2011 when this was happening. It's kind of recent. Like he shows him doing the GT, the newest Gran Turismo simulator thing. And so they're just kind of like making it recent. I watched a Sports Center little thing on YouTube because I was like kind of interested about the real person a little bit. And it was like a 6-minute video that kind of just explained his career. And it's really cool. Like I think this is a great story and the right move to make a Gran Turismo movie about, because what are you going to do? It could be a generic racing thing. Instead, it's a real life story, which is fantastic, I think.
And you know what? I think they're riding the wave of F1 as it's gaining a lot of popularity right now perfectly.
I mean, here we go. Christian Horner's wife's in the movie, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
A Spice Girl.
That was really crazy.
A literal Spice Girl. So I think it looks a lot of fun. Obviously, I have a couple reservations. Like the tagline of the movie is from gamer to racer, and I just feel like that is not it.
It's not good.
That's not it.
Good.
But I don't know. I love racing movies. I think this is a great story. I hope it's as PlayStation Studios needs this to be a hit to kind of greenlight more PlayStation Studios shows and movies. Last of Us was such a huge success. We've already forgotten about Uncharted, so like let's just keep we got to keep the momentum moving after Last of Us. We don't want 2 flops and a hit coming out of it to start it off. We need 2 hits.
Right.
We've already gone, the flops already forgotten about, you know?
Which was the flop?
Uncharted.
Oof. You see, you're right. We did forget about that.
Exactly.
It's gonna stay forgotten.
It's not the worst thing to ever grace my eyes, but it's sure not a good one. That's how I feel about it. Yeah.
Especially for like such a big franchise.
Totally. Yeah. Just a lot of wrong choices with that one.
All right. Time to begin the onslaught against Xbox for the news this week.
No. Yeah.
Let's just preface this, Finn. We could preface this and say, like, hey, at the end of the day, we want Xbox to win. We want them to have a dub because when Xbox wins, gamers win.
Totally.
Okay. At the end of the day, we want them to produce good content. And when things come out, when games come out that are not well polished and are not good, that hurts everybody.
Definitely. Yeah, I am not, even though we're reading these reviews and stuff and kind of talking about it, it's not like I'm hating on Arcane or anything. It's like these people spent years making this game. It's just like they didn't hit their goals, didn't hit Xbox
Arcane's
goals.
A great studio.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. So it sucks to see these 4 out of 10s coming out for the studio that developed like Prey and other cool stuff. James, hop on in here. What do we got?
Redfall, a vampire shooter out this week on Xbox and PC, was developed by Arcane Studios, the same team behind classics like Dishonored and Prey. It's one of Microsoft's first-party exclusives for 2023, a big release for the company's Game Pass subscription service, and, by most accounts, it sucks. Let's start with GameSpot, who reviewed the game and gave it a 4 out of 10. Ultimately, Redfall is a game that should not have been released yet. Its litany of bugs hampers the gameplay loop and exploring its world with friends, and that loop itself feels compromised by elements that are poorly executed and ill-suited to the team implementing them. I can't pretend to know whether Arcane chose to make a loot shooter or was assigned to make a loot shooter, but I can tell you what it feels like. One of the best game studios in the world suddenly made toothless. Hit us with the Games Radar one, Finn.
Games Radar gave this game a 2.5 out of 5. Redfall is ultimately not up to Arcane's usual standards. It feels rushed, unfinished, and unsatisfying to play. Single player is hampered by a squad-based open-world shooter structure. Multiplayer is held back by odd decisions, and decent gunplay is marred by uninspiring mission structures. It's a confusing game, full of contradictions, and the result is unfulfilling.
Take us home.
Okay. This article says enough with the professional views. Let's say what people who paid for the game say. And if you bought this instead of playing it on Game Pass, it was full price, $70 release.
Jesus Christ.
Which is an important point to remember here. Here's a selection of some of the top Steam reviews at the time this article was posted. This article's from Kotaku. Ignoring the performance issues, this game is bad. The AI is pathetic, even on the highest difficulty. The controls are clunky, the graphics are average, the world is empty. I don't understand why these companies think they can start charging $70 for unfinished garbage. I couldn't even stomach an hour of this game. And then the article says, it's tough to explain how raw the whole thing feels without playing it yourself. Even the fonts look like placeholders. Arcane is a studio responsible for some of the most important first-person games of the last decade. To see their name attached to this just really bums me out. Totally. I think that's the common sentiment. Within all of this morning, Kind of Funny put out an interview with Phil Spencer, and we saw a couple clips from it. And one of the things that stuck out to me was, well, first of all, Phil Spencer was very honest, open, and candid about this, saying that it did not hit expectations within the studio. Yeah, totally kudos to him. I saw some shit this week, James. I'm on Twitter scrolling, be like, dude, Redfall's bad. Maybe it's time for Phil Spencer to step down. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like the goodwill of Xbox. He is the beacon of Xbox.
He's the beacon of hope.
Exactly. Like, what are you talking about? Because the game's bad. Yeah, just like
Jez Corden said, sorry, but people calling for Phil Spencer's resignation are way out of depth. Xbox is having record quarters repeatedly under his leadership. Is everything perfect? Obviously no, but please get some perspective.
Yeah, 100%. I think that whole argument is ridiculous. It was great of Phil to get ahead of this. First of all, I think they've kind of like built rapport with Kind of Funny, and the XCast and stuff. And so it probably feels more comfortable to go on a podcast where they know they're not out to get him, and they're kind of on his side, but like want to talk about this. But Phil at this said that it didn't hit his expectations, Xbox's, Microsoft's, or Arcane's. But the piece that kind of like stuck to me the most of what he said was he talked about even if they were to delay the game, it would still be a similar result because he believes that Microsoft likes to keep their hands off of the studios that they purchase, and at the core, the creative decisions that were made for this game weren't going to hit the way they were expected they were going to hit, so even a delay wouldn't change those core creative decisions, which is really interesting to say.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think even in talking about like Arcane, because he said that someone made a point about like, if you have a studio like Arcane, just have them stick to what they're good at. And he said, I'm never going to be the person to tell a studio what to or not to make.
Right. Totally.
Which I really loved.
Me
he
too.
just values studio autonomy and creative decision making that much. And I think like you have to have room for studios to have games that miss.
Yeah.
And I think I really commend Arcane. If like this is the creative if these are the creative decisions that they made, like I think that I have respect for them to release that even if it didn't do well.
Yeah, I mean, if studios are remaking what they've already done great, there's no place to have another great game. Like, yes, it could be a good game. It could be a good game, but it won't be like a genre definer or something that is pointed out as like extremely special. So 100%, these studios have to take risks to not stay relevant, but like, I don't know, change the landscape. We're talking about AAA game with Xbox money here, with Microsoft money.
If they want to take risks and like actually shoot like above the stars, like you have to take risks.
Yeah, totally agree. It's some sad stuff. James, I want to get into a clip which kind of steamrolls off of this.
Hold on. Yeah. I want to say like that there's a lot of quotes saying like, I've been a big believer in what Xbox have been building since 2016, says Phil Spencer. Like Paris said, like there's 20 something studios, forget Activision, Xbox Game Studios. What it is today, there's more than enough studios and titles out there that we're all anticipating. I think this is the common frustration of what he sees out there from people. Is like there's a lot going on at Xbox that we aren't seeing right now.
Totally.
And I think this is just a tough time for Xbox right now. They're just kind of going through it. But they have a lot on the way.
Totally. Yeah. I don't think that Redfall's performance should... I think it could hinder excitement for upcoming exclusives. I think it can.
I think it will.
But...
Especially Starfield.
Totally. I mean, it's from Bethesda again, right?
There's so much writing on Starfield. I mean, we'll talk about this more in the clip. So let's just get into it, and then we could touch on why that is so pertinent for Starfield, particularly.
All right. I'm going to throw it to you to start the clip in 3, 2, 1. Hit it.
New Xbox Games Showcase announced for June with dedicated Starfield Direct. This comes from IGN.com. Microsoft has announced that a new Xbox Games Showcase will be live streamed this June and will once again include reveals of upcoming Xbox games from both first and third-party studios. In addition, there will also be a Starfield Direct, a whole show dedicated to a deep dive on Bethesda's upcoming spacefaring RPG. As dedicated on the Xbox Wire blog, the Xbox Games Showcase will be live streamed on Sunday, June 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. No specific developers or games have been teased, but naturally whatever is shown will be our first look at what's coming to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass in the future. Starfield Direct will be aired immediately following the Xbox Games Showcase and will feature tons of new gameplay, developer interviews, and behind-the-scenes insider information. What else, Vincent?
Well, just a couple days later, on June 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, Microsoft will also be live streaming Xbox Game Showcase Extended. Much like last year, this will be a follow-up show that provides more context and interviews based on the reveals that dropped during the main showcase. I remember this being pretty interesting last year, so I'm glad they're doing that again. This summer, Xbox Game Showcase is part of the games industry's tradition of making announcements in the month of June. Historically, that was always done as part of or adjacent to E3, the Mammoth Games event that takes place in Los Angeles. But with E3 2023 now canceled, it will be up to individual companies to make their own announcements, either independently or via new events like Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest or IGN's own Summer of Gaming, which IGN Summer Gaming, I kind of forget about every year, but it is always there and they do have announcements, which is kind of crazy.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about this a little bit. In this podcast, this is a clip from a larger podcast where we talked about Redfall and how the reviews were not quite hitting what they were expected to hit. If you want to listen to all of that, you can check that out on podcast platforms or on YouTube. But James, this showcase is very important for Xbox at this point. It feels like each month it becomes more and more critical that Xbox needs a grand slam. A grand slam.
Right. And before, it's been in the wake of games that were pretty good.
Yep.
Right? Like, especially in talking about Halo Infinite. However, right now, with Redfall, it seems especially pertinent that they need Starfield in particular.
Absolutely.
To be a hit. Because Starfield has been the promised child since like 2018, I want to say, something like that. It's been years that it's been teased. That like it's the sci-fi like Skyrim Fallout-esque game that's going to be like huge world building, a lot of like story based, heavy RPG elements, and everybody wants some of it. And for that to line up where it is in the release cycle really puts the pressure on.
Totally. I mean, I'm glad that we're getting a separate direct. Like, it's going to be Xbox Showcase. Don't expect Starfield at the showcase because right afterwards, it's going to be a big, who knows how long it is. I was impressed by the 15 minutes of gameplay that we got, but I was listening to other people's like kind of thoughts and stuff, and it sounds like the general public is still waiting for that wow factor, I guess. So this has to come with the wow factor to kind of win the people that are on the edge over, the people that don't have an Xbox over, you know?
I think having it be its own separate direct actually gives it more room to breathe in terms of expectation. I think there is that time during the actual showcase and the extended showcase to bring about other titles that can generate more of that hype. Be like, oh, this looks promising. This looks like something I really want to play from Xbox. So then, like, coming to Starfield, it's not like this is its own standalone thing. Like, because there is the possibility. It's a different story if they had no announcements up until Starfield. But this is a time for them to say, like, really announce some big hitters. And I hope they have them locked and loaded. I hope they have them in the chamber because they need it to cushion that expectation from Starfield. Because it's almost impossible for Starfield to live up to the expectation that it has right now.
What we need to see at this direct, I'm going to give you a cake analogy right now. Here's what I don't want. I don't want Starfield to be icing on the cake. Like, let's show some stuff about, here's what I want. I want two cakes, James. I want Xbox Showcase to come out and you have enough meat for a whole cake. And then you come into the Starfield Direct and we're double-decker caking. That would be the impressive showcase. I don't want like a loose showcase that's like, oh, pretty good. Here's some like frosting. Here's some sprinkles on top, you know? And then Starfield comes in with the cake that just swashes it. Nothing gets talked about from the regular thing. I want a double-decker cake, and it needs to happen on June 11th. It has to happen.
Wow. What if we say this is like, what if we talk about multiple layers to one cake? Where like the whole cake is Xbox, like Xbox's games lineup for the next year or 2 years. And so I want every announcement to be a layer of the cake.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like some of those really tiny indie games that are not to discount indie games, but some of the ones that appeal to very specific crowds.
Sure.
You know, that are because let's be real, Xbox has those.
Yeah, they
but
do.
Xbox does not have the AAA, the one that will go to every. They don't have the system seller, which is really what they need. They know that they need to sell boxes. They need to build up their core, their core games. Say like, hey, I'm buying an Xbox over a PlayStation.
Yep.
Here's why.
Yep.
these are the things
It's a
that I
hard-
want to play on Xbox that I cannot play anywhere else.
It's a hard
unless I
argument to
go on
make
PC.
at the current state.
It's a
you
hard
know?
argument to make right now.
I'm gonna throw you a
What are
couple
you gonna
games.
give him?
I'm gonna throw you a couple games that they've announced at previous things, and I want you.
These could be those games.
These could be those games, but I'm gonna give you 4 games, and then that's all that we know. Kind of, we know a couple more, but like these are the 4 things that I'm gonna give to you right now. Number one, Avowed. I think Avowed, but they got to show it. It's been 2 years. I mean, we got a little trailer last year too.
They have to show it. They have to show Avowed. It's been too long. It's been since like 2020.
And they've been. I would say that this is probably one of their most hyped.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones, another one where they showed a teaser. Maybe a couple. It's been 2 years, maybe 3 years since that teaser.
I think it's got to be.
Maybe 2 years.
I think it's got to have a little game, not a whole gameplay demo, but it's got to have a trailer with gameplay in it.
Do you think it's a first-person game or a third-person game?
Third person.
Okay. Even though that studio only makes first-person games. It'll be interesting.
Yep.
I like them going out of the box, though. That's what's up.
Who knows? I could be wrong.
Fable. Is it too early? We got a cinematic trailer
I think
years ago.
You know what? I think Fable might be an instance where, hear me out.
Tell me.
Maybe Xbox will. Maybe it's a Hail Mary that they're like, we need something. We need something to cushion. It is that cushion to Starfield.
Okay.
Where like people are like, oh my God, Fable. We show trailer. Might have like a release window that's totally fabricated. Might be like 2024.
With Xbox's release like date problems, I don't think we get like any release dates. We might get seasons, like, oh, maybe it's coming like third quarter 2024 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're getting dates on like anything based off their track
No.
record.
I'm saying like year. Like say Fable 2024.
Sure. Yeah. Which would be epic.
Surprise drop.
Do you think it could come in 2024? They said it was maybe so many years off. Yeah.
Maybe Q4.
It'd be nuts.
Probably delay that 2025.
Yeah.
Q2. Ugh. Q2 2025.
Hellblade.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. It would go maybe Q4 2025.
Yeah.
Hellblade, I think, actually has potential to come out soon.
It's got to come out soon. I would say it comes out this year. I think they release a new trailer and it comes out by the end of the year. Yeah, totally. 30 frames per second, though, for sure. Right?
No fucking way. It can't.
It looks too good. It looks too good to not run in 30 frames per second.
See, yeah, no, I think it's going to be 60. I think it has to. After Redfall, are you kidding me?
I would hope so, yeah. Phil Spencer also in the interview he did said that they're still planning on working on Redfall to get it to 60 frames per second. In which I also watched the skill up review and he said they should completely abandon Redfall and start working on the next thing because it's not savable, which is an interesting take as well. Okay, here's what I want to see.
I haven't played it, but that's what it sounds like.
From the Xbox Showcase, I need new IPs from AAA Studios. I think that's what's going to get me most excited. Like, something that's not already built upon. Because we have Elder Scrolls. We know we're not getting anything for Elder Scrolls at this. Like, there's no shot. Maybe they could really surprise me. I could eat my words in like 5 weeks when we see this. But they've made it known that it's not even close. So I would love to see some new stuff that gets people really, really excited. New types of games too. I feel like when I think about Xbox,
what do you mean by that?
I think about a lot of first-person games when it comes to Xbox, whether that be not like shooters necessarily, but like...
Well, it's been the shooter box historically.
Yeah. But, I mean, Fable and Hellblade and hopefully Indiana Jones will kind of go against that a little bit. But I'm just looking for something different. And I don't know if different is the third-person story-driven action-adventure game, you know, because that's like Sony. People make fun of Sony because that's like all they make. Those are all of their games, which they hit. Like, they work. They work for me most of the time. It's crazy. I want one of those. I want a couple of those that are like really well-received on Xbox as well, I think. Yeah. 2 more questions for you. What color jacket does Todd Howard wear at the Bethesda showcase? And is it leather?
I think he's going to wear I don't think he's gonna wear a jacket. I think he's gonna wear a button-up.
Interesting. That would be life-shattering.
An open button-up. I think he's gonna wear an open button-up with a graphic tee underneath.
I like that. And my next question, perfect segue, is what kind of graphic tee will Phil Spencer wear under his sports coat?
I think it's gonna be like a vintage. Oh, it's gonna be gonna be a nod to something. It's gonna be like
Yeah.
it might be a Fable shirt.
Here's my guess. It's buttoned up first half of the showcase, and then the trailer comes out and it's unbuttoned. And you could just see the peak of something and you cannot make out what it is at all. But once the trailer's out, it's unbuttoned and he's been wearing it the whole time. And you're like, damn, Phil, nice moves.
I'm gonna write that down, Vincent.
It's a good one.
I'm gonna write that down.
That's a free bingo card. Guys, thank you so much for watching this clip about the Xbox Summer Showcase. We can't wait to watch it. I am assuming we will be live reacting to it because it's my favorite thing to do, like, all year for the game's events. It's my fave. It's at a weird time. It's like 10 a.m. during a work day, so we'll have to figure that out. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this clip. If you want to watch this entire podcast, you can go on all audio platforms, type in Strictly Casual Checkpoint. This is episode 160. The title would be something about Redfall in the Xbox Summer Showcase. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Boom. One more story for the day.
One more.
James, you're excited about this.
Kind of.
Talk about it.
There's a lot of hustle and bustle, a lot of buzz, a lot of buzz around a PlayStation 5 Pro among
and a showcase,
other developments. Yeah. So the way the rumor goes, okay, this is the tale.
Mm-hmm.
PS5 Pro dev kits will be sent out to first-party studios within the next couple of months. Third-party partners will receive theirs by the end of 2023. And then estimated to launch in 2024. Tom Henderson
crazy.
States that the PS5 Pro could be canceled, but he can confirm with 100% certainty that it's currently in development.
Mm-hmm.
That's for our audio listeners. Vincent has a smile of skepticism on his face right now.
I am skeptical. I feel like they're throttling. Well, we'll get into it. Keep going.
Alongside this, another PS5 model with a detachable disc drive is coming later in 2023. The detachable disc model is set to replace the existing two models that are currently out within a year.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Okay.
They're saying that there's going to be a PS5 Pro and then the new PS5, which has a detachable disc drive, which I'm assuming would mean you buy the PlayStation. It does not have a disc drive. You pay an extra premium or bundle it with the disc drive, something like that. You know. Instead of shipping 2 retail boxes of PlayStation 5 physical, PlayStation 5 digital. I think we see it. I think here's how they're going to sell this, in my opinion. They'll price it at $400, which is the digital version. The disc drive is like $50. Okay, it's detachable. It's like $50. That way, it's a little cheaper than the PlayStation 5 physical, so that they can try to sell those consoles. You know, but the PS5 Pro comes in at $150 more, and that's going to be the $600 console versus the $450 console, that sort of thing. And then those are the two options, basically. Or $400, $600. That makes sense too, because it's like $200 for whatever the Pro feature is going to be. I don't know. I still don't know what the Pro feature could be. But
I saw a rumor that is going to be, not rumor, but like the speculation is like 8K 30 frames.
Yeah. Right. My PS5 box says 8K. I'm not getting 8K out of that thing. No shot. Who's making an 8K resolution game?
No one. No one's making a fucking 8K resolution game.
You want to play at 1 frame per second? It's basically photos. You're going to click the arrow key and cycle through photos for the whole game. Damn.
So you think...
I mean, they do a Pro model every single generation, every single year. So
yeah,
it's not like I don't think it's going to happen, but this time specifically, we are seeing games throttled for other consoles. PlayStation would be the only people that are kind of taking advantage of what the PS5 Pro has, I would think, for the most part. I don't know. Yeah.
But do you think that goes to like, maybe that's their strategy?
Sure. I mean,
PS5 is the only place to play games in 8K.
Yeah.
Is that what you're inferring? If PS5 is the only place to play 8K, then why not use that to your advantage?
Right. It's the only place to play PlayStation exclusive games in 8K or something like that. They're going to have the fine text. It's not going to play it. We'll talk about Jedi Survivor in a sec. But like, that is only a next gen game, right? That's for Series X, S, PS5.
And it still has performance issues.
Yeah. But even on PC though, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
companies that are creating these games for multiple consoles are
They
not
don't know how to
gonna
build a game for 8K.
No, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. It's gonna be even 6K, dude. We're not getting above 4K this gen. Not gonna happen.
This gen, so you think we're gonna have to wait till the PS6 to get 8K?
Yeah. We're not getting 8K. No shot. I literally do not believe it. I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it.
I'll take you on that bet.
Okay, sweet. Take me on it.
I'll take you on that.
What else are we getting?
In addition, there is so the system might possibly be revealed at the upcoming PlayStation showcase. There's Project Leonardo, which is an officially announced customizable accessibility controller, which PlayStation has been in need of. Xbox have been really good at their accessibility stuff and their controller. So it's about time.
Yep.
In addition, 2 new wireless audio hardwares for PS5. One is Project Nomad, which is wireless earbuds, and Project Voyager, which is another wireless headset. Expected by the end of fiscal year 2023.
Cool. The earbuds
portable
are
PS5, cool. Q-Lite. Yeah, the earbuds would be really cool. Portable PS5 or Q-Lite is a handheld accessory with that features remote play and adaptive streaming for up to 1080 frames, 60 frames per second. Sorry, 1080p, 60 frames per second. Apparently, Q-Lite looks like a DualSense controller with a big screen in the middle and will have haptic feedback. Which one are you most hyped for, and what do you want to see from the PS5 Pro? Source: Tom Henderson and Inside Gaming.
Can you imagine? Here's what I think of when I think of adaptive triggers and stuff with the screen for the Q-Lite. I imagine it rattling so much that something gets loose in the screen behind it. I don't know why that's like my first thought. It's like, we're gonna play in this game, screen's gonna go black. It's not because it's broken, it just rumbled too damn hard. Okay, because I'm already getting like in my DualSense. I blame Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga because that every single thing made that controller rumble so much, like way too much. And I have little things that I sometimes hear. I'm like, oh man, this thing's working. This thing's working. It is not how it used to be. And
that's so funny.
I imagine that, like, if I play Lego Skywalker or Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga on my Q-Lite, it's done. Like, it puts it in the
ground. It's gonna blow up.
Yeah, it might blow up. Who knows? James, what have you been playing this week?
God of War.
God of War. Tell me
I'm
about God of War.
23 hours in to God of War.
Nice.
I'm really trying to ignore the side content, and it's so hard to ignore the side content.
It's good.
You go to a whole nother realm. Like for one of them, like you chase this dog in
the
Vanaheim,
which is the hell thing. No, that's Helheim.
No, you chase. So you're playing as Kratos.
Yeah.
After you do the whole sequence with the ship, the pocket ship, right?
The pocket ship. Oh yes.
Yeah. So you go through there. Dude kills
minor
the
spoilers for
Minor spoilers. Dude kills the dragons. Come back. You're about to go to Sindri and Brock's house, and then Atreus is like, "Yo, like, there's this dog that we want to follow." So you follow the dog, and then you come to a place where like you get back on the floating ship, and then you get knocked out of the sky by a dragon, and then you fall into another realm.
Yeah.
Or like you fall onto the ground of like what is maybe like below Vanaheim.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So it's like all kind of deserty. And I'm like, there's a lot here. Like there's a lot of shit here.
Wait, but is that area connected to another area you've already been to?
Yeah, no? I think it's connected to Vanaheim.
Right. Okay. It's just a whole new section of it with more stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
It's like all rocky, you know what I'm talking about? There's a dragon that follows you around.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. You ride your sled? It's all sandy?
You don't ride your sled.
Oh. Wait a second. Oh. I think I know what you're talking about. Maybe not. Maybe I'll have to Google, take a picture.
It's rocky.
Yeah, it's rocky. Is it just Kratos there?
No, it's Kratos and Atreus.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, I'll have to look up. I don't know why I can't visualize
anyway,
it.
Major spoiler. Heimdall's dead.
Crazy fight. Fun fight.
Crazy fight.
Yeah.
Super good fight. Easier than I expected.
Sure. Once you get the mechanic down, you just go for it.
Yeah.
Wait, at that point, do you have
the spear.
Okay, cool. You do have the
Yeah.
spear. Major
That was
spoilers,
spoiled
sorry.
for me in a tweet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. So I just a still of Kratos with the spear, and that was it. And I was like, fuck.
I'm so scared about something like that happening with Jedi Survivor right now. Of like,
Oh man.
everybody says there's a major thing in the middle of the game that happens, and like, it's like altering, like it alters a lot of the game. And I just don't want to see that screenshot. I'm just praying away that screenshot because so far I'm good.
So, Atreus is back in Brock's and Sindri's with the mask.
Okay, cool. You're near.
And we're like, what the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
We're right there.
Yeah. You're on the cusp.
On the cusp. Good. How many hours do you think I have left?
It's hard to say. Without doing side content, you could probably do it quickly. I want to say quickly, as in like 5 hours, probably.
Oh, 5 hours. Okay.
I would say, yeah. It's a lot. There's a lot.
Okay.
But I flattened it in like 60, and I spent like double the time as the main game doing all the other stuff. Okay. So I would say the game's like 30 hours or so. Like for the story.
Another part of the story of what I've been playing this week is I got Jedi Fallen Survivor. I got that Amazon deal for $10 off.
Fallen Survivor. I say that shit too. It's crazy. It's
what the fuck is it?
Just Jedi Survivor.
Really?
Yeah, just Jedi Survivor. That's it.
God damn it. Star Wars. I got Star Wars Jedi Survivor yesterday. Popped it in the PlayStation. Had to delete some shit because it's so goddamn
144 games.
Why the fuck is it so big? Installed it and it's been sitting there. And I opened it for like a split second, and then I was on the FaceTime with my girlfriend, and he was like, I thought you said you weren't gonna play it till finals, or whatever. I said, you're right. I don't know if I have the willpower for this. She goes, what if I just don't kiss you for a week if you play?
Wow, the real accountability partner right there.
And I said, yeah, I can't take that risk. I had too much power over me, so I booted out of there so quick. Went back to Ragnarok.
That's good. You'll enjoy it too, and it's like you don't have the stress of finals lingering over you, for sure.
You're right.
You'll give it more time. Okay, can I jump into some Jedi Survivor thoughts?
Go for it. I'm all done. I want to know all of them.
No, I'm not going to say anything about the story.
Well, not all of them.
Yeah, I'm not going to say any story things. When I first launched it, I was very skeptical about the performance things that I was reading
pre-patch?
Pre-patch. I had like an hour one night, and I was like,
have you jumped into a post-patch?
Totally, yes. And so I have some thoughts about
cool.
The first place that you go. I won't say the location. I don't really know if it's a spoiler or not, but I don't want to say it. Regardless, wherever the game starts is a busier area, and I think because it's busier, it chugs a little bit more, and I was really scared that that was the game experience. Like, this is what I'm just gonna have to get used to, because there's a lot of droppage, and it's a bad performance mode, straight up. It hits 60 and it feels good in 60, and then all of a sudden it's just like it drops and then comes back up, but those drops get annoying. It's not like unplayable, it's just annoying. But you're off of that first location very quickly. It's just kind of the opening of the game. And I got to the second location, and a lot of that was alleviated. I will say when a lot of things appear on screen, it does drop a little bit and then bump back up. It's not perfect. God of War has a perfect 60, and it holds 60 damn near any combat situation.
That's so nice.
This is not that. It's just not that.
Fuck.
So during that, I switched to quality mode just to see how that kind of would go. And it's super smooth in quality mode, and it looks good. But I was like, nah, I just prefer 60. I don't care about the drops. This game is good enough to where I'm not.
So you don't get drops, but it is just consistent 30.
Yeah, it's just consistent 30. But I'm playing at 60. I don't care if it drops sometimes and comes back up, because the gameplay is so good. It is refined. It is like everything that the first game is, but better. The abilities feel better. The sabers feel better.
Wow.
The story is intriguing so far. I think I'm extra interested because there's so many High Republic ties, and I'm like obsessed with that right now. Even like planets and such that are very prevalent in the books is like talked about, and there's characters from there. It's very cool to me.
Cool.
We'll see how it holds up, because I really like Cal Kestis being at this like center of the story, I guess, in Fallen Survivor, and he is in this too. The story's different.
In Jedi Survivor.
Thank you. Did I say Fallen Survivor? Son of a bitch, man. It's crazy. But the stances, dude, seriously change up the combat. There is an Ogdo Bogdo in the beginning of the game, if you recall Ogdo Bogdo. Ogdo Bogdo is a frog that you encounter on Bogano in the beginning of the first game, and he's just so hard. And you can either skip him and come back,
my God, yeah.
or just beat yourself to death and do it. There is
Damn.
that type in the beginning, and I spent an hour there, and I did it, and I've never felt better. It
Awesome.
felt so good. So there's plenty of that. One last thing I'll touch on is the main planet, Kobo. This is not a spoiler by any means. This is already in all of the marketing, but Kobo is like the base world, let's say. And I'm extremely impressed by how huge it is, but not daunting, because in the first game, you can't fast travel anywhere. You have to run by foot to anything. This encourages exploring off the beaten path, because if you don't want to run all the way back, you can just fast travel back. And it's like, just that alone is so liberating. I don't care if I'm like going off the beaten path in a story thing, because I know I can just hop right back out. If I'm feeling I want to just continue the story, I can hop out of the side thing, just fast travel back and go on my way. And that is like, that brings it up a whole point for me, to be completely honest.
Yeah. The fast travel, dude, I told you. I've been telling you about that since the first game. Like, if this game had fast travel, make it infinitely better.
And James, I'm happy to report that the stances you have to kind of stat into. You can't just upgrade them all at once.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of choose choose to spend points in them. That's not to say that you can't. I'm sure by the end of the game, like further past the end of the game, you can grind out skill points, and upgrade them all.
Right.
But during the game, their skill points are few and far between. You have to choose which kind of things you do, and I know you're gonna like that a lot. So it's good.
Wow. Do you have access to all of them?
As of last night, I have 5 stances. I believe that's all of them.
That's all of them. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have ones that you like the most, that you're like, okay, I'm definitely gonna spec into these too?
Are the stances like spoilery?
No.
They're all out there.
They're public information. Yeah.
Okay. I just got the crossguard.
Blaster.
The crossguard.
Oh, you got the crossguard.
And I can already tell I'm going to use it, but I've only used it for like 5 minutes, and then I had to like call it a night. I was tired. The blaster I just got as well last night. You got 2 very close together, because I think they want you to choose like, oh, are you going to get this ranged or like this heavy thing? They want to give you that. But so far for the main game, I've been using just the regular single lightsaber, and then the broken apart, the broken apart double. But they're both close range, so I think like today when I play tonight, I'm gonna use crossguard and then a pistol. Those 2, because you have the range, you have the single blade, which is like a fencing. You kind of fence with the gun.
That's what I heard. That's so cool.
And then the crossguard, which is like the big.
I think that's gonna be my set. I'll have to wait till I get in there to really see what I feel.
Yeah.
But that's my guess, is it's gonna be that.
I will say that the double sabers, when they give you those, like the broken apart stance, right away they felt like not good. I was like, oh man,
shit.
I don't like it. I'm gonna go back to the double bladed saber. But then I re-equipped them, and I was like, oh, well, I was just missing out. Like I just didn't use it right. I didn't even give it a fair shake, and then I loved it. So I think they're all viable, which is fantastic. They're all viable.
Cool.
I
love that.
Prepared with any of them. But that's it.
I can't wait to fucking play this game.
James, I'm obsessed. It says I have 6 hours on it already,
So
which I don't
post-patch.
believe. Post-patch was a little bit better than before. I can't say it fixed
A
everything.
little bit better.
It definitely is noticeably
You
better.
still get drops.
Yep. It's not perfect 60.
Damn.
Not perfect 60.
Maybe by the time I finish Ragnarok, and I'm done with finals, they'll have another patch.
I will say it's a little jarring. It's going to be jarring going from a perfect 60 game to something that's not.
God damn it.
But dude, I don't know. The gameplay just makes up for it. It makes up for it so fast. And you're like,
wow.
I know they'll patch it and it'll be fine.
People say it's the best Star Wars game ever made.
The story would have to be a 10 out of 10 to like hit that level for me.
Is there another Star Wars game that has a 10 out of 10?
I don't know. Probably not. I thought Fallen Order story, dude, the recap for Fallen Order story in this gave me chills. I was like, this is perfectly edited. This is awesome. It's so cool.
So good.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I wish, I actually wish God of War Ragnarok had a better God of War 1 recap.
Yeah.
I showed it to Regine to try and get her. Like, I tried to explain
everything, all 25 hours of that game.
Yeah, I tried to explain everything and the context of the first game, and she was like,
she's like, okay.
Well, she doesn't know like a lot about Greek mythology or Norse. No, she doesn't know a lot about Norse mythology. So I'm like, okay, now I gotta explain
this, and this. Yeah,
a lot. And I'm like, okay, I'm just mansplaining at this point.
Sure.
Yeah, had to take a seat, take a break.
Good times, dude. I can't wait to play more of this dang Survivor game. I can't stop thinking about it. I need work to be over so I can just go play that tonight. But
I know.
tonight I'm seeing Return of the Jedi in theaters.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. It'll be cool.
Super fun.
Yeah. Be a good time. All right, y'all. That's it. Happy Star Wars Day. Have a great week. Any
Thanks
final
for
thoughts?
watching. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, guys.
We'll be right here next week
with episode 161, which is freaking crazy. Okay.
Crazy.
Peace out, guys. Bye-bye.